This hydraulic clutch is definitely not working. Yeah, it just doesn't feel right. I can't see any fluid in the window, so I don't know, that's not a good sign. Let's have a look inside. Peel out a couple screws, pull off the cover and seal, and what the f is that? Damn. Yeah, that's not a good thing. We're not supposed to be seeing like pudding inside there. It's supposed to be nice, clean, clear brake fluid, not brown goo. So yeah, I got a hunch that maybe the slave cylinder had a seal leak or something. Yeah, hold up. That isn't just a slow leak. That's a combination of super old oil, bad maintenance procedures, and a project bike that was left to rot in the corner for way too long. No excuses. So we're gonna have to check that out. And that's down here, so let's follow that. Out of the clutch reservoir, down through here to there. So that thing right there is the slave cylinder. We're gonna have to pop that out and take a quick look. It's not too hard to do, but as you can see, there's a few bits and pieces to get at that. So well, let's have at it. First bit is to get that shifter linkage out of the way, then pull the cover bolts. Now a cardboard bolt position template is a great idea to keep things in order. Pull off the clutch line. Now I should have done that first. Wrap it up and continue removing the remaining cover bolts. Shock it free and pull that cover off. There's a good look at that slave cylinder. And with this cover off, it's a great opportunity to spray it down behind there and scrub off some of that hidden grime. Okay, before we actually remove the slave cylinder out of this cover, I thought it'd be a really good idea to get rid of all the grease and grime. Give it the once over. It only takes a few minutes. Now there's a couple of bolts to remove to free up that cover plate. There's two more on the flip side, and the banjo bolt and the bleeder screw. Then we can push the slave out and grab it from the front of the cover. Now to remove that piston, a little compressed air does the trick. Gotta be gentle though. Too much pressure and you'll launch that thing through the wall. Ah, geez, look at that. Talk about a pudding cup, and not the good kind. All right, that's better. Now we clean up the piston too, and we should be good to go. Okay, let's put this thing back together. How hard can it be? We got all the bits, everything's cleaned up, and we got a piston seal kit right here. So, may as well start there. That's this little guy. Okay, so with this piston, we can just pull off the spring and take a look at that seal on the piston there. The orientation is key. So pull off the old one, compare it to that new one, and then slip it on. It goes on quite easily. And then grab the spring, pop that thing in, it just clips on. And then you can go for that cylinder. Now this one was scored a little bit. I went with some super fine sandpaper, kind of cleaned it up a bit, wiped it out, and then get some brake fluid as some lube. Lube in the inside, lube that seal, and just press it together. It fits in nicely. Just push it down a little bit deeper than that. Then you can pop it into the cover, line it up on those dowels. There's a couple bolts to look at. On the outside, tighten them in, and then there's that cover on the back. Same deal, tighten those in. Flip it up, put in that bleeder screw. Now it looks like we're ready to pop it on the bike. Boom, just like that. Now here's where using that cardboard template comes into play. Different size bolts fit in nicely. You don't have to mess around. Just line it up, screw them down, good to go. Then we can connect in that hydraulic line. Fit on those new washers that we got. Tighten it down. Linkage goes back on. And now this reservoir, you'll notice how deep that circlip is. I had to go down to Ultimate Cycle. Brian helped me out with a perfect set of pliers there. Those little circlip pliers, real long. Then you can pull out the guts of this thing. And there you go, that's what it looks like. And then the reservoir itself, mucky. Look at the inside of that thing. Yeah, horrible. I don't know what it was, but that stuff just degrades into some kind of pudding. So again, hit pretty much everything with the cleaner, all the little gears and springs and stuff. Okay, all we got left now is this brake reservoir and all the bits that go inside. And there's really not too many pieces to this puzzle. It's just this little worm gear thing, a spring, a seal, and a couple of clips. So yeah, how hard can it be? Let's start with this thing here. Okay, now this little bit here, all you gotta do is lube it up, use brake fluid, any rubber bits, stick that cap on the spring, and everything just goes together in reverse order that we took it apart. Pop in that little worm gear thing, then there's a washer, and then there's that circlipping. You'll need a special pair of pliers to do it. Okay, looking good. Now if you look inside the reservoir, close up, see how that gear thing moves across when the lever moves it? Here, now let me freeze frame this. But that super tiny hole, you have to be certain that that thing is free and clear. Yeah, that super tiny hole there, the one that's smaller than the fine print on your motorcycle warranty card, you gotta make sure that thing is 100% crystal clean and clear. Kind of like the browser history on your laptop. Connect that hydraulic line, just use some fresh washers on that banjo bolt, connect it all up, tighten it good, and then fill her up with some fluid. I'm using DOT 4. Connect up your bleeder line. I let it go by gravity, or you can pump it, whatever way you like to do it. Okay, so now it's just like bleeding your brakes. Pull in the lever, let out the bleeder, close it off, let it out. Rinse and repeat. I think we got it. Now all we gotta do is top it up, the cover back on. So there you go. The pudding's all gone, clutch is back to good, and I can go take this thing for a rip. Alright, I got stuff to do. See ya.